ดีค่ะสวัสดีทุกท่านนะคะหนูนะคะสุวิภาชีวพักผลค่ะตัวแทนจากบริษัทเน็ตเวิร์ก365นะคะยินดีต้อนรับทุกท่านค่ะเข้าสู่เว็บวินาร์ไซเบอร์ทอล์กตอนเทรดแลนด์สเคป2024นะคะหลังจากห่างหายจากทางเว็บวินาร์ไปนานค่ะตอนนี้เรากลับมาแล้วนะคะเลยนะคะที่ให้ความสนใจเข้าร่วมงานในวันนี้ด้วยค่ะและระหว่างที่รอเข้าผู้ร่วมอื่นๆสักครู่หนึ่งนะคะหนูขออนุญาตประชาสัมพันธ์ให้ทุกๆท่านค่ะ เพื่อรับข่าวสารและกิจกรรมดีๆจากทางเน็ตเวิร์ก365นะคะได้ง่ายๆเลยหรือมีคำถามสงสัยตรงไหนให้เราช่วยดูแลนะคะแค่เพียงไลน์แอดนะคะเน็ตเวิร์ก365ค่ะหรือสแกน QR code ที่ขึ้นอยู่บนหน้าจอนี้ได้เลยนะคะค่ะและสำหรับเซสชันในวันนี้นะคะเราจะพาพี่ๆ Go Inter กันสักเล็กน้อยค่ะโดยเซสชันนะคะจะแบ่งเป็นภาษาอังกฤษนะคะทั้งสองเซสชันเลยแต่ไม่ต้องห่วงนะคะ หากท่านใดมีคำถามสงสัยตรงไหนยังไงเดี๋ยวช่วงท้ายเซสชันค่ะทีมงานเราจะแวปอัพเป็นภาษาไทยให้อีกครั้งหนึ่งนะคะ โดยเซสชันแรกค่ะพบกับคุณแอรอนเทนะคะกับหัวข้อ Advanced Monitoring for Large Infrastructure with Pacler PRTG นะคะอย่างที่ทราบกันดีเลย PRTG เนี่ยเป็น Network Monitor ที่ใช้งานง่ายมากๆเลยนะคะแถมราคานั้นก็ย่อมเยาวค่ะอีกทั้ง365เองยังเป็นตัวแทนระดับ Platinum นะคะซึ่งเป็นเลเวลสูงสุดของทาง PRTG รายเดียวในประเทศไทยด้วยนะคะก็มั่นใจได้เลยค่ะว่าเราพร้อมนะคะที่จะซัพพอร์ตทุกท่านเป็นอย่างดีค่ะ และต่อด้วยนะคะเซสชันที่2นะคะพบกับทางคุณวิกเตอร์นะคะในหัวข้อ Recovery Your Business Fastest Against Ransomware นะคะจากทาง Rubik Solution นะคะและต่อด้วยเซสชันจากทางคุณมนตรีนะคะจากทาง Network 365นะคะจะเป็นการ wrap up สรุปจบสุดท้ายให้หากท่านใดมีคำถามระหว่างการบรรยายนะคะสามารถพิมพ์เข้ามาทางช่องแชทนี้ได้เลยนะคะหรือว่าทักไลน์แอดของเราเข้ามานะคะทีมงานจะคอยตอบคำถามให้กับทุกท่านนะคะ ค่ะและสำหรับช่วงสุดท้ายนะคะเราจะเข้าช่วงคาฮูดเกมค่ะโดยของรางวัลของเราในวันนี้นะคะสำหรับผู้ที่ชนะ3 ท่านแรกนะคะรับไปเลยค่ะสเกลแพนด้านะคะเป็นอาร์ทอยนะคะจากทางป๊อปมาร์ทนะคะเราไม่ต้องไปเข้าคิวต่อแถวให้เสียเวลากันเลยค่ะเพียงแค่เข้าร่วมเล่นเกมนะคะกับเราในวันนี้นะคะก็แนะนำให้พี่ๆทุกท่านนะคะแอดไลน์แอดของเราไว้ก่อนนะคะหากได้รับรางวัล เราจะรบกวนให้ส่งชื่อที่อยู่นะคะผ่านทางไลน์แอดกันนะคะโอเคค่ะถ้ายังไงหนูขออนุญาตเริ่มเซสชั่นแรกกันเลยนะคะค่ะขออนุญาตเรียนเชิญทางคุณแอรอนเทนะคะแอรอน yes yes please get started
All right, thank you.
thank you
Hey, hey, first of all, before I start, I would like to thank you so much to Number 365 to have this opportunity for me to do a bit of sharing with you guys. Okay, because so today's topic we talk about advanced large infrastructure monitoring with Paceler PRTG. All right, because PRTG, maybe some of you guys have been using it already, or some of you guys are not that familiar with PRTG. But today, let's go through it together. How PRTG able to help you in terms of monitoring, and also can be an early detections in case of something that is not going right and stuff like that, and how you can fully utilize it. Especially, we fully understand that, for example, with the cybersecurity landscape and all these kind of things, it's getting more and more complex, and monitoring can be a piece to that because it can provide you with the early detections. Maybe down, you'll get alerts. Maybe there'll be some signs, telltale signs to let you, and this is where PI will be able to help. Okay, so let's quickly go through. All right. So before I start, maybe just a quick about Paceler, our company. Okay. So actually, we are headquarters in Nuremberg, Germany. So we do have subsidiary in USA and also in Malaysia. So we have more than 400 employees worldwide. All right. Of course, 4,000 partners. And being, of course, in Thailand, we have a very, very capable partners. Our platinum partners, Network 365, will be able to help you anything locally in Thailand as well. All right. So we have been in the market for very, very long. when being founded in the year of 1997. So we are in this field for more than 20 plus years. Okay, and also I think importantly for you guys, of course, like I shared just now, we have Network 365 within the Thailand market as our platform. But of course, in case if there's any help and stuff like that, do not worry. We are actually based out here in just Malaysia. So we are based out in Kuala Lumpur. So all the customer-facing departments are all located there. So you no need to worry. For example, need to go back to the headquarters, need to have a bit of different time zones, but we are based everyone here in Malaysia. So it's just like, let's say, for example, flying to Bangkok is just only maybe like 2 hours flight away. All right, so it's not that far, so we can really support the local market. All right, so we have the sales, we have the customer service, we have technical service. Like I myself, I'm coming from the pre-sales, and also so you can expect, for example, the response, everything will be also a bit more better because we have within the very close time zone. All right. Okay. So for PRTG, we are a solutions try to monitor as much as possible. We monitor different type of system, devices, traffic, applications, you name it. All right. Let's say, for example, you have some security devices you want to be monitoring. So like, for example, firewall. This is something that we can monitor with PRTG because firewall is a really important piece in the cybersecurity landscape. So monitoring that will be essentials because, for example, if your firewall has been went down, maybe the CPU has been spiking up and all these kind of things, we'll be able to monitor with PRTG. Of course, besides monitoring on firewall, we can monitor different kind of devices. Let's say you're moving to a hybrid cloud strategy. All right, you have something on premises, you have something on the cloud. We are able to monitor using PRTG as well. Let's say you have some VPNs, you want to monitor some IPsec, you're able to do that with PRTG as well. Of course, let's say you have some server rooms, all this kind of thing, because when you think of security, cybersecurity is not just about all the devices. For example, you have some firewalls, your web application firewalls, all these kind of things. But also importantly, in terms of security, you need to think about physical security. Let's have a data center to your, all these things are important because let's say what if someone get access to your physical data center, we possess a risk well in terms to your security. Okay. Monitor, let's say, for example, the CCTV, because let's say the CCTV able to whether it's functioning well or not. If it's down, for example, maybe that area no longer has the CCTV monitoring. We can monitor CCTV and maybe server room as well. Maybe there's some leak, these kind of things, if you work with PRTG. So the possibility are really endless with PRTG. You have the protocol, or you can think of the language in the IT. You can monitor, if you have that, support that with PRTG. It's just that simple, okay? So for PRTG, we are really a full-featured monitoring. To give you an idea, how do we things work, it's actually we are using sensors, all right? So for example, ping to check on your connectivity can be considered as one sensor. Like for example, Dell system health can be considered as one sensor. All right. Of course, within the sensor itself, there's different matrices, or we call it channels. Let's say for ping sensor, you'll be able to see what is my ping time, the maximum, minimum. You have 4 different channels. It's called a sensor. Let's say you want to monitor your servers, the physical server itself. I have some Dell. So we have a Dell system health sensors. It can check you on the health, but there is even more details inside. Let's say, for example, you can check on the temperature, whether my power supply is okay, all right, my battery status, all this. You have so many different matrices. All these are also considered one sense. All right. So, of course, with PRTG, we have more than 300 predefined sensor types. So for example, you have some bandwidth, for example, you have servers, you have certain firewalls, all these kind of things. We have already predefined sensors you can monitor. Out of the box, install it, we already have out of the box all these kind of different sensors. Of course, if you want something to monitor, you want to monitor something in detail, all right, maybe you can use custom sensors. For example, you have MIB file. Okay, you know how to write some scripts, for example, whether PowerShell scripts, Python script, all right, you know how to write them, you can also use it to monitor as well. So the possibility, I would say, it's really endless for PTG because of course there's something already there, but if you want to go advanced, you can do that. Maybe there's certain parameters within your security devices, let's say your firewall. There's certain things you want to monitor more in details. You can use the MIB file. For example, you're running on a high availability example. If there's a parameter there in the MIB file, you can monitor that as well. All right. Of course, besides monitoring, important is to notify in case something happens. I think in terms of security, we believe that notifications is really, really important because you want to get the first hand of when there's something happening. You want to know. Let's say my firewall is down right now. Okay. Or maybe some of the important servers right now, my production servers is down. Okay. And have the initial alerts, then you can dive in a bit deeper. Is it just only maybe some power outage, or is it maybe my sluice, or is it something even? Is it because it caused by some security incidents? We are not sure. But with notifications, you get early alerts first. In case something maybe continuously happening, you get notified. Maybe it's just only a for example. So with this notification, of course, I know, for example, definitely we are able to, of course, I also fully understand that maybe too many emails not so easy to keep track. All right, we have a lot of alerts and stuff like that. But of course, besides email, can do other things as well. Say, Teams, now line notifications if you want to. Of course, you can pick and choose what you want. Let's say this is an important firewall for me. Then I would like to be notified via Teams, via my line notifications in case something is not working. Right? Because of important monitor, then all these different methods. Of course, maybe, for example, I just only have a watch point, or maybe it's an access switch. Maybe it's not so important. I can look it at the next day. Maybe you can send out emails. You can pick and choose just like this. We have reporting as well if you want to. You can, for example, the trend and stuff like that, you'll be able to see that. And of course, we do have some dashboards map as well. You can, because let's say you want to monitor day to day, all right? You can create some dashboard maps. Maybe this map is specifically for the server team. This map is specifically for the network team. This is for the security team. It's fully up to you, your own map that makes sense to you. Of course, if you want to do a bit of integrations and stuff like that by your own, we also give you this our API for you to use. For you want to create maybe your custom dashboards, you want to create your custom reports, and you'll be able to do that. All right, you can do your integrations and all these kind of things quickly to your own needs. Okay. And if you guys have been, some of you have been using PRTG for quite some time, all right, you know that maybe you're familiar with our product called PRTG Network Monitor, but we have grown a lot then, all right? Okay, but today I think my main focus, because we are monitoring larger infrastructure, let's say you already have existing PRTG, how you can extend it even, okay? So today will be the main focus, will be about SLA report. Okay. For PRTG just now, okay, as much as possible in terms of monitoring. All right. For example, you can monitor your own whole IT infrastructure regardless of vendors. All right. So we are PRTG, we call ourselves vendor agnostic, not locking to one vendor only. All right, and also can be used by different industries, regardless you come from the financial service, educations, government, healthcare, we all can support. All right, regardless of which industry you are coming from. Right, it's definitely PITG IT infrastructure. All right, we can help that. Okay, so these are the three main core products. So the PRTG network monitor is our on-premise solution. Then we have the enterprise monitor, which really for really large environments. Okay, and also we have the hosted monitor, which is SaaS solutions. Okay, have you an idea how the work? If you're using PRTG already, maybe you have PRTG network monitor. So you can think of this PRTG, you can install it in your own VM, all right? If you're in your own server,
Aaron,
you're able to
sorry
do
for
that, all right?
interrupt.
So when you first install, you have to cover another thing called probe. This probe
Aaron,
is the one to help you data. Yes.
sorry for interrupt, but the
Yep.
sound is not clear.
Hello.
Yes,
Yes.
just the sound is not clear.
Sorry. The sound is not clear.
Yes.
Is it better now?
Okay, better.
Okay. Sorry about it. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. As so maybe you guys are already, some of you guys are already using the network. Okay. You have your own core servers. There's a smaller sites can deploy the remote probe. Also, good thing RTG is you do not need to think of purchase extra database and something like that because we have our own proprietary database. Okay. The hosted monitor is the cloud solutions. So the server, you can think of it, is hosted in the cloud. And the closest to Thailand at this moment, it's located in Singapore. All right. The latency, the best one at this moment is in Singapore. And anything local you want to monitor, you can use the probe. Okay. PRTG Enterprise Monitor. This will be a subscription-based license. The good thing about this is licensed by SAP. So allow you to easily to scale because we do not limit how many core servers you will install. And also later on, you can see the extensions. It's called PRTG Multi, how you can easily manage such a large environment. Let's say you have so many different sites, so many different locations. It's not so bad because in terms of monitoring, the security important is to make it easier to get alerts, everything easier to see all of this consolidated data easier. Because one of the important things about cybersecurity landscape and framework, it's the detections. All right, this is where PRTG able to help you detect. All right, especially in terms of early detections, I would say. If there's some devices down and stuff. Okay. So the first thing I would like is the PRTG multi-board. Okay. So it's exclusively PRTG Enterprise Monitor. Let's say you have different core servers in different locations. My first core server is located in Bangkok. Second one located in Chiang Mai. For example, located in Rayong, for example. You can consolidate system image using PRTG multi-board. Okay, so this PRTG multi-board is app you install in the local machines. So using Windows PC, Mac OS, Linux, you can in all these different platforms. Okay, but of course, importantly is each of the servers you need to have one account. So it depends what account you access. You have multi-board that actually would have. For example, only can read multi-board, you only have be able to read as well. Okay, so for multi-board, you can use offline environment if you want to as well. Activation need to be done online. Okay, very quickly, I'll just show you some screens, but later on, I'll show demo. Okay, so this PRTG multi-board, let's say you have an overview of a single glance where you can see where the issues. For example, I have this service, it's able to see what's alarmed easily. All right. Of course, you can able to maybe compare some devices as to search for some trend, what is the trend, for example, CPU, is it spiking, for example, it's easier for you to see, to do a comparison. You can do a search and filtering as well. For example, on things, you do some search and filtering. Okay. So some of the key features, of course, with this PRTG multi-board, you can see multiple PRTG in one. All right, you can create a very quickly create a high load. You can do some multi-editing functions and stuff like that. You can do some comparison of different objects, and of course, also UI optimizations in terms of the PRTG multi-board. Okay, and another one is this is also it's called PRTG reporter. This I think will not be new to you, especially if you're, for example, you're doing MSP, ISP, maybe even some large corporations as well. When you heard what called SLA, Service Level Agreement. All right. So with these PRTG extensions, you'll be able to create SLA reporting easy. All right. Support multiple call servers. And then, of course, it will give you a reporting maybe based on uptime, for example. You can see wages and stuff like that. This is where the SLA reporter will be able to give you some value add. Okay. And in terms of architecture, this idea, all right? So you have your PRTG. It can be used by PRTG network monitor and enterprise monitor for this. But right now, you don't need to think about how to do the API and stuff like that. The SLA reporter will handle all of this for you. Okay. And then let's say if you have your own MySQL server, you can use that. If not, it will prompt you to install SQL Express. And then you have a GUI for you to do some changes and all these things. All right. I'll not go through all these slides in detail because later on I'll go through a demo as well. Okay. All right. Of course, like for example, you can set your own SLAs, you can create your own schedule reports and some details SLA matrix as well. Okay. So the important things about all this SLA reporter, it gives you really the uptime, the data, because this is important, especially when you're trying to provide service to your stakeholders, whether it's customers or maybe external customers. All right, because let's say if you have reporting like this, you would know, for example, this maybe switch or this firewall always have issue. Maybe how long is have issues? And you have all these reports to make server has been always down every 2 or 3 days. Maybe it's time for me to do a tag refresh to change this server. Or is it there's some more underlying issues? You have all these kind of reports, then you can really save a lot of time zoom in what is important. It's also a good reporting, for example, to your management and stuff like that to show them, this month, for example, everything seems to be quite okay. I really meet my service level agreement because no one, not much of the service are down, for example. Even their service down maybe a short time, then you have some reports out of this very easily because this is very, very good in terms of, for example, providing reportings, in terms of providing services to your stakeholders. All right. Okay.
Excuse me.
Next, I'll go through the demo with you so that you can have a better feel of how this PRTG multi-board and also the yes.
Sorry, Mr. Tay.
Sorry.
I think do you have problem with the internet connection? And the other problem is
Yes.
the slide and your
Yes.
speech. I don't think it's matched. Sorry. It say that your network bandwidth is very
Oh,
low.
really?
Yes, yeah.
Let me try and really apologize for that. Let me try and check again.
No worry, thank you.
Really apologize for that. Let me try to reconnect with another network. Let's see, is it better? Just give me 1 second. All right, does it sound better now? Okay. Really sorry about that.
Yeah, Alan.
Yes. Okay, great. Really sorry about that. Okay. So as I was saying, let's maybe dive into the demo to let you have a look on how you can monitor a larger infrastructure. All right. Okay. So this is the PRTG multi-board. All right. Let's say you can see I able to add 4 different servers into this PRTG multi-board. Of course, you can change, for example, some of the settings. Maybe you want to, like, for example, I myself prefer darker one. Then you can change the theme and stuff like that. You can do that. All right. And then if you see down here, you can access to the server one by one. Let's say, for example, I have a server in Thailand, in Malaysia, in Indonesia. I can go into them one by one. Okay, of course, if you're familiar with PRTG, you have used our web interface, maybe this is not something totally foreign to you. But you can see, for example, I can see my devices. I have the sensors inside, some maps, reports, and all these kind of things. I'll be able to see inside this PRTG multi-board. And of course, if you, let's say you have the rights to change a bit of settings, you'll be able to do that as well inside this PRTG multi-board. Let's say there's some settings I would like to change and stuff like that. You'll be able to do that with PRTG multi-board. But of course, I think the main idea of this PRTG multi-board, importantly, is these functions. It's really why we call it multi-board. All right, this is specifically for the PRTG Enterprise Monitoring customer with this coming together one. All right, so this multi-board will be able to give you a general overview of all your different servers. Let's say here, I added all of the 4 servers together. I'll be able to see I have 7,000 plus sensors. It's okay right now. There's 49 maybe having a bit of issues. All right, then you can, for example, you have what we call widgets. This is not pre-built, but of course you can build it out yourself very easily. For example, you can choose between lists, donuts, or even channels. All right, let's say, for example, channels, if you know there's maybe specific important devices I would like to monitor. Let's say I have a WatchGuard firewall right now. All right, I want to monitor the CPU. This is a very, very important firewall for me. You can search for this and then add it inside. Okay, and of course, you can create a list as well. Let's say you have different devices across different servers. You have some Cisco switch at the server in Thailand, a server in Malaysia. All right, then you have some Dell, then you have some Juniper firewall, for example, in the branches in Singapore. Then you have some in Indonesia. Regardless, then you can create using sets. All right, let's say, for example, I'm looking for something under Cisco. Then I can able to search all of it regardless. I don't care coming from which server. I can group them together. Let's say I have some in Malaysia. Okay, I have some in Indonesia. You can create a set. All right, which is what you are seeing right now here. Okay, for example, I have Cisco, I have Dell, I have Juniper. All right, I have even some printers, for example. All right, you can able to see them all in one glance, easier. Okay. Of course, besides this, I think importantly, besides seeing all the devices are up and up, I think one of the main thing for people, it's I want to know what is down. Okay, you can actually filter it down. Let's say I want to see all of them down coming from different servers. You'll be able to see as well. For example, I have some devices down for the Malaysia server, some in the Indonesia server, and also Singapore. You can filter it. Of course, maybe I want to see on the warning only. You can also select just like this. Easier for you to see in a centralized place. Okay. And of course, we also have this overview right now. Easier for you to do some filtering, like we shared just now. For example, I want to search some sensors, all of my ping sensors. I want to check on the connectivity. It will all list out for you. And also you can do the filtering. For example, is it by which locations or which servers, for example. Let's say I just only want everything in Thailand server, for example. Maybe right now I just only have one. Maybe I want everything in Indonesia server, this call server. Then you list it out for me. It's easier for you to see, to do all this filtering. All right, so this is the PRTG multi-board. And of course, besides these features, we have some extra features inside PRTG multi-board. First one, it's called the probe transfer. Oops, sorry, it's a bit huge. Just give me 1 second. All right, probe transfer. Okay, so let's say you have some remote probe deployed in the Thailand server. Maybe you want to move it to Malaysia server. Right now, you can do that for the remote probe. Of course, you need to fulfill some of all these requirements. For example, there are some ports open. You need to ensure, for example, what version you are using, all these kind of things before you can do that. This will be a features also specifically for the PRTG multi-board. All right, so this is about the multi-board. Okay, and secondly, let's go through the SLA reporter. Right, so for the SLA reporter, it's very, very useful for, let's say, you do reporting and all this kind of thing to check the uptimes of, you have so many different servers, or maybe even you have one server of PRTG, that is okay. You can also use the PRTG SLA reporter. So this is the overview of the dashboards. For example, it tells you how many has been breached the SLAs, how many have not breached, all right? Before you get started, I would say it's good to do a bit what we call filtering, because let's say you have a few servers or maybe just one server, you can pick and choose what you want to be included in SLA. All right, so maybe if you're familiar with the PRTG device tree, you can see from here, you can select maybe your switches, my firewalls, maybe different locations and stuff like that. It fully depends on you. Okay. And then after that, you can really create the SLA reports. All right, for example, you can set daily, monthly, and yearly SLA. Okay, I think after that, also importantly, maybe maybe you're working as a managed service provider. Okay, maybe you can create different companies, or maybe even if within your company, you have different departments, you can create that as well. Okay. And then, of course, important, because for SLA, I think timetable is very, very important. So for example, because we know not all the company the working hours is maybe Monday to Friday only. Some people are working 24 hours. Some maybe is working Monday to Saturday. Saturday maybe is a half day. So you can select a timetable that you want. And then of course, importantly, like just now what I shared, you need a filter to select what will be included into the SLA. Okay. So this is the idea, for example, to see how the reports it is in the PRTG, SLA reporter itself. For example, I've created the first SLA. I set 95 my SLA, but right now I achieved 99.9983, which is everything looks good so far. All right, it can tell you how many outages I have for the month of May. All right, it's just only one for a very short time. And then, for example, maybe this one, let's say, it's not working so well, my SLA. Right now, I set 99.8, but I just achieved 98.59. And it will tell you how many outages you have and stuff like that. Of course, besides telling you all these outages, you can dive in a bit more in detail as well. For example, this one, I've breached my SLA. Which one is giving me the issue? You can list it down. This is where you select all your filter previously. It will tell you, this one is giving me issue, that one is giving me issue. All right, and importantly, because let's say sometimes you're doing just only updates to the devices itself, you forget to exclude it out. You can always do it after that to exclude from the reporting itself. Okay, let's say, for example, here there's some unplanned downtime. You can always, maybe you have a ticketing system and stuff like that. You can put in ticket number, put a bit of comment, then you can set as planned, and then you recalculate the SLA as well. All right, because this SLA is really, really good in terms of, for example, to check on your availability, for example, your system and all these kind of things, what you have set out. Then if there's issues, you also have proof, okay, to be able to see from here. Like, for example, like I've shared just now as well, maybe one of the firewall has always been down every week. Then if you have proof like this, it's easier to justify, because this is always affecting my services provided to my for my stakeholders. For example, it's giving me always downtime and stuff like that. Then it's always up back after maybe I rebooted, for example. Then if you have all this proof, it's easier. Maybe let's say it's always down every week. It's giving me issues. Maybe is it time to do a tech refresh, or is it you need to do investigation a bit deeper, but you know this is giving me an issue. And of course, all this SLA report, okay, you can schedule a report to send to email. Let's say you want to do a daily report, a monthly report, all these kind of things, you'll be able to do that. Okay, so this is how the report would look like once it's sent to you. For example, I've generated something for March. Then my uptime is 99.99. I set up 95. Then, for example, I see there's 2 outages. My outage, how long does it take? And it tells me, for example, which one is giving me the outage. Let's say, for example, this Cisco switch, the ping, there's a bit of issue. In between this time, there's some unplanned outages. Then you have some proof about that. All right. Because like I shared earlier, PITG, it's very, very good to maybe to give you some early detections. All right. Also have some reportings to show you as well if there's something, for example, it's keep recurring. Because with this SLA reporting, because it's to check your availability, your services provided to your stakeholders. You have reports like this, it's really helped a lot. All right. Because once you monitor your environment getting larger and larger, I know it's not easy to see the device one by one in the web interface. Maybe these reportings can be another way to help you as well at the end of the month, for example. All right, and also with the multi-boards, if you have multiple core servers, it's easier to see all this as well once your infrastructure is getting larger and larger and larger. All right, so I think this is something I would like to share for today. Okay, so is there any questions or anything like that?
Okay, thank you, Aaron. So we have the question on the chat. Okay.
Sorry,
I think we have the question from the Mr. Pongsathorn. Is PRTG allowed to install on Ubuntu? And are there any backup plan of doing it?
Okay, so for PRTG right now, the main core server itself, it's still running on Windows at this moment. But good news, let's say if you're familiar with PRTG, you remember the remote probe that we have. Right now, we have another thing called multi-platform probe. For that multi-platform probe, you'll be able to support Ubuntu. Maybe, for example, you can support Raspberry Pi, all this as well for the probe itself. For the core server, it's still on Windows at this moment. Does it answer your questions?
โอเคก็คือตามที่ถามนะครับว่า ตัว PIG ติดตั้งบน Ubuntu ได้ไหมนะครับผมตามที่แอรอนเขาตอบมานะก็คือตัว PIG มีประกอบด้วยกัน2ส่วนก็คือ Core Server กับ Probe Core Server ติดตั้งบน Windows Only ส่วนตัว Probe ติดตั้งบน Linux ได้นะครับผมแต่เรามี multi platform ทั้ง Linux ทั้ง Raspberry Pi ทั้ง Windows นะครับผมแต่เป็นตัว Probe นะครับสำหรับเรื่องของการแบ็กอัพนะครับผมในการแบ็กอัพตัว PIG ตอนติดตั้งมันจะมีพาธมันจะมีโฟลเดอร์เนาะที่เรากำหนดเก็บค่าคอนฟิกกับค่ามอนิเตอร์ต่างๆเราสามารถแบ็กอัพโฟลเดอร์นั้นแหละออกมาได้นะครับผมซึ่งการแบ็กอัพก็คือเป็นถ้าแบ็กอัพทั้งโฟลเดอร์ก็คือจะเป็นการรีโซฟูลแบ็กอัพทั้งหมดได้นะครับผม
โอเคค่ะค่ะคคำตอบครบถ้วนนะคะ มีท่านใดจะสอบถามอีกไหมคะถ้าไม่มีหนูจะขออนุญาตข้ามไปทางเซสชันถัดไปนะคะหรือว่าถ้ามีเพิ่มเติมนะคะ ก็สามารถแจ้งมาที่ทาง Line @network 365ได้เลยนะคะ โอเคค่ะขออนุญาตไปที่เซสชันถัดไปเลยนะคะ ค่ะเดี๋ยวเราจะมาต่อกันที่เซสชันที่2นะคะกับทางคุณวิกเตอร์นะคะจากทาง Rubik Backup Solution ค่ะค่ะวันนี้นะคะจะมาในหัวข้อ Recovery Your Business Fastest Against Ransomware นะคะโอเค Hello Victor
Hi, Sawadee everyone.
โอเคโอเค you can start us
Yeah, I'll use my own slides, right?
yes
Okay, guys, let me know if you can see the slides.
Yep, can.
Good. So once again, very good morning, good to everyone. And thank you for having us for this sharing. So my name is Victor. So I cover strategy accounts across Singapore, Thailand, and in the world of the critical infrastructures. These are some of the enterprise accounts that I look after. So the key thing or the message that I want to share with you today, it's the fact that if you look at my title, it's your backup today is not equals to cyber resilience. That means in the new world where there's a lot of cyber threats that's happening, actually this is the real threat, and that's why in terms of the legacy solutions of backups, I mean that's something that it doesn't fit the new world requirement. So the key question is, having backups is to be able to recover you from things happening. So, but the thought is, are you able to recover your business the fastest, especially in times when there's so much of this kind of cyber events happening? So if you don't have an answer for it today, then I would like to share with you our point of view, how we can help. So everybody knows data is the most important asset in every organization. And as an organization, we spend millions and millions of dollars around the different layers of cybersecurity, your endpoint, your network, your cloud, your mobile security, just to protect basically protect your data, right? From being stolen, protect people from entering your organization, encrypt your applications and eventually steal the data. So, but if you look at the news today, and I'm sure a lot of people here can relate, is the fact that no matter how many millions that we spend, they are coming in and they are penetrating all your organizations. So this is a fact. This is not me saying. This is just, look at the news. It's happening. And this problem is not becoming smaller. This problem, on the other hand, is becoming bigger and bigger, and that's the truth. So, I mean, just some alarming facts if you are really not aware. In the next 10 years, every 2 seconds in the world, we will have a ransomware attack. I think it's already probably in the range of a minute or so now, but it's just getting more and more. as technology advances, we use AI to protect ourselves. The bad actors are also using the same technology to come back at us to try to disrupt our business and basically make some money out of it. So this is a real problem. But where I want to try to bring you guys to is today that although there's the bad actors coming, they want to steal your data, but remember there is this thing called the backups where that's really your last line of defense, right? In any case, if your live production applications or everything goes down, you will always look at the backup. But do you know that, based on a study we did with our 6,000 customers, they're saying that you know that 93% of the attacks that comes in, the attackers also come in and they come and look for your backups, because they know the fact that if I encrypt your production system, I mean your applications or your files, and you are unable to recover, that's where you have no choice but to come to me, and they basically pay the ransom. An alarming figure that we look at here is the fact that 73% of all these attacks actually made it out with some form of data or some kind of compromise. So that's kind of a high percentage in terms of the spectrum of things where the bad actors were actually successful. So I mean, knowing the fact that your backup can be compromised. So the first question you will ask yourself, oh no, how even if my backup is compromised, so should I pay the ransom? Which the figures shows that. So if you look at that left side, the figure shows that 72% of organizations do pay the ransom. I'm not sure how many of you here are guilty. I mean, would think that the same, but yeah, 72% of the customers globally paid, because 39% scared. They don't want the data to leak and say, just take the money and don't leak my data. And 40% is, they were encrypted, so operations were affected, so they got no choice but to pay. But the sad thing, or the saddest thing that can ever happen is even after paying this amount of money or whatever money that they asked for, only 16% actually got back their data, or at least got back what was promised to them. So about 46% only recovered bits and pieces of the data. At times when they take when they encrypt your systems, they give you the key. They're not going to sit there like a ransomware support and say, hey, this is how you to decrypt all your files. They're going to throw the key and they're going to run away. So there's no support to that. So it's really about buying a chance that you might recover. So with this in mind, will you be thinking, oh, should I be paying, or should I be paying these kind of things, or should I now learn that there is another way to be ready for such situations? So paying the ransom will allow you to, you're just trying to get a hope that your business can come back up and running as soon as possible. But how long does it take? What's the kind of impact that happens to your organization? So these are not new things, but the stats shows that it's better to prevent than let it happen and try to pay for it. That's kind of where the gist of this message is. So it really brings me to my next point, in the fact that how fast can you recover from a cyber attack today? So the time frame that we always talk about is, hey, you ask yourself, if things happen, are you able to recover within 24 hours? I mean, 24 hours might not be your SLA RPO, but 24 hours is typically the mark that your customers, the public, will start to find out that something is happening to you. So, if you are unable to react before that, somebody, somewhere, would spread this piece of information. So as we look at all the different layers, I was mentioning about the different layers of your cyber security today. So yeah, I mean, of course, everybody, we spend lots of money trying to protect and prevent the different layers. But I mean, if you look from a zero trust architecture perspective, it's not about how they will get in. It's just really about when they will get in. So it's just one day they're going to come in. And the scary part, I like to tell all my customers today is the fact that the bad actors are no longer trying to hack in. They are just trying to log in. So they are taking your credentials and everything, and they're just logging in from the back end. And yeah, so that's the fact of what's happening today. And so what we are really trying to do here from Rubrik, we are really trying to create this last layer of defense on your backup. So think of it as the 8th layer of your cybersecurity, of all the endpoint, mobile, and everything. Have you thought of that? Do I need to create a protection around my backup? And kind of, so I don't meet the situation where I have nothing to recover to, and I have to pay the ransom to recover to get people to give me back my data. So in Rubrik, this is what we are pioneering, and what we are trying to achieve is really to create this last layer of protection. So who are we? Who is Rubrik? Have you heard of Rubrik before? Why are you on the? Why even telling us about something that has been around for 30 years? I have my backup, I have my traditional solution. It all works. But back to my first topic, where the fact that backup is not equals to cybersecurity, cyber resilience. So this is something that just kind of put some credentials on the table. So there's two parts of this that I want to share. So on the left is really talking about this is a Gartner Enterprise Backup Quadrant. For the last 4 years, we are in the leadership position. So I mean, to be honest, as a backup solution, being able to do your day 2 operation and being able to do it well, it's table stakes. That means everybody needs to have that in a way. Everybody needs to have that ability to do it. So, but we are doing it better. But of course, there's no way for me to prove it until you see it. So I'm just going to leave it as the fact that we are a leader in Gartner. And I would say we are top 1 or top 2, depending on how you want to look at the table. But basically, they're there on day 2 operations. But the more important thing that I want to bring everybody's attention today is on the right side. You look at IDC cyber recovery. So this is very new. I mean, as of last year, November. So they look at all the backup solutions. Hey, I mean, we all understand that everybody can do a disaster recovery backup. Some hardware is spoiled. But what if you get hit by a cyber event? How well can you recover? So I mean, so they kind of evaluated all the solutions, and they say, hey, Rubrik, you are the leaders in this, which shown on the slide itself. So not me saying, but the third parties coming in to evaluate the solutions, we are a leader in this quadrant. Just to put some credentials on the table, just to say So what do we actually do to your organizations to deserve such a position? Basically, there are 3 aspects of how we look ourselves and how we position. The number 1, we are, like I like to say, we are not fast, we are not faster, we are the fastest cyber recovery. That means in any case, if you get hit, if you need to bounce back the fastest, we are very confident to tell you that we can do it the fastest. So, but of course, you spend some time to understand how it works. So from an architectural perspective, definitely a secure architecture. Everybody says secure, but yeah, in the next few slides, I will explain to you kind of some of the differences and some of the thinking points you can bring back and look at. So yeah, from a secure architecture, we will guarantee you that you have a data to recover to after the attack. We have, in terms of from a cyber recovery standpoint, we have the observability features. Basically, when you talk about cyber recovery, you talk about sensitive data, you talk about encryption, what has been encrypted. You talk about threat hunting. How do I find that clean copy, and so on and so on, and talk about orchestrated recovery. So our full suite offers this ground up, meaning I'm not trying to collaborate with another third-party solution, but everything is being owned and developed and maintained by us. So this whole observability. And the more important thing that I think that brings the most benefits to a lot of our customers today is the fact that we are able to bridge IT and InfoSec. So think of your organization today, you know, they are typically, they are all, I mean, they are all two organizations. How well is these two parties trying to work together to solve a problem? Is it them just telling, give me this, and you give them that, this, and that? So if you can have a solution that actually brings these two parties together, you know, for a common purpose, do you think you can recover faster? Definitely. So this is something that we also do and achieve using our platform for our customers. I mean, we talk about operation efficiency as the middle pillar. This is really your day two. To me, what is important to all of you is the fact that it doesn't matter today if you are looking at on-premise workloads, you're looking at cloud workloads, you're looking at even things like your NAS, your M365 data centers, anything at all in terms of all the different workloads. You know, you don't have to look around for different solutions. It's really a one platform that handles everything. So it makes your life easier in a way. As I said, being able to do the disaster recovery, these are all table stakes. But it's really the fact that, you know, if I can make things easier for you, you know, your guys, you know, we can, your guys will be more effective and they can actually do more things, and also be more secure in terms of getting all your workloads. So skill sets and everything, it's something that you only need to learn once and you can basically protect your whole organization. The third point, when we look at any company today, we also want to make sure that they are reliable, right? So look at, I mean, for us, I'm happy or proud to share, excited to share that, you know, we have just gone IPO in the last 2 weeks. So it's really very exciting for us, as you know, the IPO is really just a new beginning. Now, you know, we are getting so much attention that, like, what's making you guys you know, successful at this moment? What is that secret sauce that you know, that even at bad times you can go into, you know, you can go public. So there's really a lot of thought leadership in terms of where we are going. If you look at in the world of backup today, the vendors is in chaos, is in a mess. Everyone, there's consolidation happening, there's people buying people, there's basically a lot of movements. And if you look at it, traditional legacy solutions do not meet the new age requirements, especially from a cyber security standpoint. Okay. So a lot of things that we are saying, we have been saying it since 2018, since the first ransomware event. But, you know, we see everybody starts to look and sound like this. But when we actually peel the different layers, we are really a unique solution. And that's where, you know, we would like to share with you. So this is kind of where we can bring value to your organization. Yeah. So what do I mean by you know, the backup is not equals to a cyber resilience. So let me just kind of pan all this out first. Yeah. So this is a typical attack, right? You know, when the attackers come in, of course, everybody should have an immutable backup stored somewhere in their own backup solution. As I said, if your backup solution today don't have an immutable backup, that is a problem. So it's a table stake, okay? So, but when we talk about immutable backup, it's just the immutable backup itself, yeah? So, okay, so in a case like this, the typical attacker comes in, they will sit, once they get access to your system, they typically sit for 5 to 9 days. In this part of the world, I think it's about 9 days. So they will sit inside there and they call this the dwell time. They'll start to harness credentials. They will start to look for where are all the attack spots before they start launching their attack. So when they're ready, they'll launch the attack, they'll encrypt all your files, they'll start to exfiltrate some of the they'll start to exfiltrate your sensitive data. They will do VM level encryption, which is the fastest way now. And that's where the launch attacks like. So typically they do it on the weekend. So when you come back on Monday, you realize, hey, I cannot log in, and that will be a problem. So this is a kind of a typical scenario. So how do we help, or maybe what questions do we ask our customers today? The first question is your backup infrastructure or a backup infrastructure immutable? So of course, everybody says that, yeah, my backup stored in this storage is immutable, but there is a whole infrastructure that's supporting this backup in terms of your SAN storage, your server, your VM. So there is this whole lots of other components that that is supporting a backup. So in any case, if someone comes in, and they destroy your backup infrastructure, so will that be a problem to you? Do you think that attacker comes in today and your backup infrastructure can be compromised? So that's the first question that we ask our customers. Do you think can be compromised? Because to recover the infrastructure itself, it will take time, and time is something that you don't have during an attack itself. So number one, the first question is really basically can your backup and backup infrastructure survive an attack? So as I go through these questions, of course, I would have the answer for you in terms of what we do, but just this is food for thought. This is what I talk to most people, and this is what I would like you guys also to think about. That's the first. Second question is, how do you know what has been encrypted? Do you have the ability to identify what are the files what are the servers, what are the VMs encrypted? Or do you just say, hey, it's here, I think it's here, we saw a few encryptions, let's just recover this whole cluster? What if you're talking about petabytes or large amount of data? That cannot be your kind of decision process in terms of when things happen. So are you able to detect, or understand some of these encryptions? That's the second question. The third question, do you know what kind of sensitive data has been compromised? So are you able to understand during wartime or peacetime, where are all these sensitive data, what is being held there? Because the fact that when things happen, the first question from the guys on the top, they'll say, what's been lost? Or what has been compromised? So do you have that kind of information on your fingertips to understand where what information has been compromised? The fourth question, which is a very interesting question, which is do you know which is the clean copy? So it's a true question that I ask a lot of people. It's like, hey, how do you identify the true copy? Some of them, will just say, we'll just try the previous day. So my question to you is like, if you take 4 hours to recover to the previous day and you come back and it's encrypted again, are you going to spend another 4 hours the next day? So really just trying your luck again, let's just try a few days ago and let's try this day. So how do you really go in and identify which is the copy to recover to? Something that most of the customers, they don't have an answer. They say, yeah, we get the Mandians of the world to come down and they will help us find that right copy and everything. Yeah, I mean, that's also a solution, but yeah, that's also time and resources in a way. So the last question is the fact that, once you understand, if you do understand where it has been impacted, how are you able to automate the recovery, orchestrate the recovery? Because it may be just one cluster here, one file here, one VM here that we need to do that. How do you want to do the recovery quickly? So these are the key 5 questions that I always ask my customers. And if you today on the call is able to answer all 5, then I say congratulations, you are really cyber resilient. But if not, then let me share with you in terms of how we do it. So let's look at Rubrik today. We are essentially a single platform that protects in terms of your cloud workloads, your different data centers, or even your SaaS workloads. We are immutable by design, and not only immutable from a backup standpoint, our infrastructure is also immutable. So we are also air gap, natively air gap. We call it logical air gap by design. Our files, or in terms of when it's stored, in terms of all the data, is stored in a time series metadata format. Where the founders of Rubrik came from Google, so they kind of designed the backup in that manner for easy searching and everything, for speed and performance. So I talk about us being a modern data protection in terms of the modern architecture. Why is that so? It's the fact where for us, we are an appliance in a way where everything is being stored in the box. So from all your OS, your storage, your everything, we are all running it within the box. And even all the threat hunting or the ransomware recovery capabilities are all within the box. So I like to call it, we are bunker in a box. Everything is inside there. Basically, that's how we ensure that our data is immutable, our backup infrastructure is immutable. So there's no way they can destroy us in terms of the box itself. So as part of the solution, where we bring along is also we have sensitive data discovery, being able to run the different searches of what are your sensitive data, your PDPA, your GDPR data, anything that's sensitive. How do you want to run and identify what is where are all these data being located within your backup copies, so that you have a better understanding of your data. So that's something that we also provide for our customer. Ransomware investigation. So when we look at ransomware investigation, it's really about from two parts. One is from a preventive motion, also from a reactive motion. So when I'm sure everyone here, you would have subscribed to some kind of ransomware feeds where you'll be getting new hashes, IOCs, and kind of trying to run it on your production. So this is something that we also do that we help that customers can do using Rubrik. Basically, you pump in all this new IOCs and really go and check whether in your backups are we compromised? Do we have some of these vulnerabilities presented in our backup? So like in Singapore itself, most of the companies, they will receive it every month. They will receive a whole list of different IOCs. They need to run checks within their production and within their backups itself. So this is something that we do out of the box for our customers. And some customers have moved it to the fact that we are also able to do a little bit of preventive, where when the backup comes in, what we do is we will scan it first against all the known IOCs to make sure that when it enters as a backup copy itself, it's free from all the known malwares. So this is kind of what we call the ransomware investigation. I talk about the threat hunt, being able to really identify where is that clean copy today. I think the key thing about all these features here is when I remember when I told you that that these are all built ground up and owned and developed by Rubrik, in the fact that these features are all owned by us. So you don't have to worry about things like a third-party attack, like a SolarWinds attack or something. But and the fact is, like, if today you are using this and you are running it on an external VM, for example, what happens if your VM get encrypted? How are you going to threat hunt? And how are you gonna find out all this kind of thing? So those will take time. So, but the fact of, for us, everything is owned within the bunker in the box, I call it. And that's where all the magic is happening. And that's where we can recover. We can basically protect, have the infrastructure, and the data is immutable. We are able to see where are all the sensitive data, where we are able to hunt for that the clean copy. And then of course after that, it's really about being able to simulate and recover for you. So in a nutshell, this is what Rubrik does. Protect your data and also give you the ability to recover you from any kind of ransomware or any kind of cyber attacks. So this is what our platform offers. So I mean, after hearing this, I was like, oh, okay, good. I mean, Victor, I understand now, you somewhat do some of the scanning features that we have today. So are you here to replace that? So this is something that I need to be very clear. When we talk about security, cybersecurity, we have your infrastructure security. So we have your firewalls, your XDRs, your SIEMs. The fact of the matter, we are not here to replace them, but we are here to complement them. Because the fact that you still need to use these solutions to prevent these malwares or these vulnerabilities to come in. But the fact of the matter is, we are playing at a data security area. We are really talking about the providing that resilient, that immutable air gap backup for you, and after that, complementing it with all observability in terms of threat hunt, sensitive data recovery. So if you look at NIST, we are at the place where we are doing the response and recover. So bear in mind, we are not here to replace, we are here to complement when they do pass through, and then and some of these cannot run in times of when you are being attacked, then you need to understand that from a Rubrik perspective, we are able to basically provide all the necessary features to help you recover fastest in a way. Yeah. So I just want to touch a couple more points that what we think that is important. So when we talk about resilience, we also talk about the fact that it's not only the external people, we also talk about the internal guys, your own internal factors. If someone's today you have a disgruntled employee that decides to do something, or maybe an administrator that decides to mess up with your environment, how do we prevent, or how do we protect ourselves from people like that? So this is what we just want to touch a little bit on the insider threats. So a couple of points here. I talk about we are logical air gap. So that's in terms of design. People cannot, when they come in, they won't be able to find out where that there is actually a backup storage here. That's kind of where the logical air gap does. But more importantly, it's really about everything internally, everything that's been done is all protected by MFA. Everybody has to log in, and the most important part is the fact that if today, for example, if I'm the backup administrator and I want to change something, we have this thing called the 2-person rule. Basically, if I want to change something, I need to get someone else's approval before I can change any kind of backup policies, SLA or anything. So we call that the 2-person rule. But also, in any case, if the employee and the boss both gets compromised and they say, okay, let's mess out the organization, we also have this thing called the intelligent data log. Basically, is whatever we do, the information will still stay available for 7 to 14 days, depending on what kind of. So a lot of thought has been put in to protect against the internal threats. We talk about NTP poisoning. Basically, someone goes there, mess up the clock and say, no, now it's 30 years later, the backup automatically expires all the existing backup. This happens. I mean, this is something. So we have an internal clock that prevents that. And yeah, so kind of everything is immutable by design. So as I said, Rubrik was built with security principles from day one. So the founders probably had the vision during then to say that, hey, security would be the key things. So that's why architecturally everything was being built with security in mind. Right? So I just want to share with you in terms of a real customer that we have that happened. So when I talk to you about it just now, where the fact that we talk about that your backup and backup infrastructure, can your infrastructure survive an attack? So this is a customer that has 2 solutions within their environment. One is Rubrik and one is another legacy player. So of course, based on the number there, you would realize that, and anyway, they got hit by a cyber attack. It's not like some disaster that happened. So in a way, when we compare up against them, we kind of took only like less than 1/4 or even like 1/5 of the time, because for the other solutions, they need to spend the time to rebuild the backup infrastructure. That's one. Number 2, for them to, once they rebuild, they manage to get the backup back in. For them to even do the scanning, they need to rehydrate the data. Basically, take all this data, find a place and rehydrate and start running on a third-party VM to scan through all this data itself to find out where is infected and where's the clean copy. So we are talking here is not really just recovering flat, but recovering from a cyber event to recover your backup infra, to rehydrate your data, and also to comb through all your massive data to see where it's been impacted. So for the same thing that happened on both sides, Rubrik was able to stand up and perform the fastest because we have all our inbuilt capabilities. So yeah. So that's kind of where we see ourselves. That's why this going back to my very first point, how we are not fast. We're not faster. We are really the fastest kind of solution that is able to recover you from a cyber attack. Okay. And lastly, I also wanted to just quickly share in terms of what we do for our customers today. So if you haven't got me by now, you would realize that my message has been backup is table stakes. We do it better, but it's really about how you can recover better during a ransomware event. or basically during a cyber attack on you. So on this note, from a Rubrik perspective, we are also offering our customer, as long you are my customer today, you will have access to my Rubrik ransomware response team. So these are not your help desk. They are not the level 1 or level 2 or even level 3 support where they do they are not help desk. This is a team of 100 of people that is really looking after our customers when they get hit. When they get hit by ransomware. That means the moment if anything happens to you, you just have to give us a call. We will stay with you all the way until you are recovered. So these people don't do any kind of basic support. They just eat, sleep, ransomware recovery. So it shows our commitment and our investment to ensure that, you know, when we talk about you will not be compromised. You will definitely have something to recover to. This is kind of what we are doing. So this is something interesting, and we found that a lot of customers find this very, very, very useful and very assuring in a way. So just want to quickly summarize some of the key points that I spoke about. We talk about operational efficiency. As I said, day 2, single pane. You are able to run SLA policymakers to really automate a lot of this onboarding, and basically we make your day 2 life better, even from what I say and plus what Gartner says, in a way. Complete cyber resilience. So if I bring everything together, we talk about the immutable, we talk about the air gap, we talk about all the MFAs and your 2% authentications that we have. We talk about the ability to recover. So having the ability to identify where the encryptions, having the ability to understand what are the sensitive data exposure, having to able to threat hunt to find for the right file to recover to. That's our in terms of the suite. And of course, we talk about lower TCO. So the lower TCO conversation, actually, there's kind of 2 prongs to it. From a cloud perspective, we see ourselves comparing to native the native backup that's provided by most of the cloud players. There is a huge difference and a huge differentiator what we bring on the table even for the cloud. So that means if you want to compare us up with Azure backup or something, the basic there is, or any other providers, we are happy to share some of those. But yeah, from a cloud storage wise, there is the TCO, but what we see our customers get a lot of value is one is the fact that you know, when we look at organizations today going to market, they are buying ransomware insurance also, right? Or ransomware insurance. So Rubrik as a solution, if you have adopted this, actually it actually helps with reducing the amount of insurance that you are paying, because they know you are protected. And on top of that, we ourselves provide a $10 million USD warranty. That means if tomorrow I cannot recover you, I will pay you the money. So that's kind of how we are so confident of what we do for our customers. So kind of these 4 pillars that we're looking at. I spoke about the in terms of the Rubrik, in terms of zero trust architecture, design principles on day 1, the ransomware recovery team. We ourselves will have a Rubrik Zero Lab team that goes around understanding what are the key threats today, and being able to put ourselves at the a forefront of some of these thought leaderships of cybersecurity. So, and of course the warranty. So bottom line, how we partner with our customers today. So if all these points on the left is something that you're looking for, or you think that can help your organization, on the right, in terms of what we deliver, it's how we can work together to better protect you. Yeah. Thank you very much. And sorry, I've been talking for non-stop for 35 minutes. Hopefully, everybody got a good glimpse of what we do. Are there any questions?
Okay, thank you, Victor. So we're gonna move to question. So, we have Harish answer for the question already. ค่ะท่านพี่ท่านใดมีคำถามอื่นๆเพิ่มเติมไหมคะ ขออนุญาตรอสักครู่หนึ่งนะคะ ค่ะสำหรับคำถามนะคะได้ทีมงานได้ตอบให้แล้วนะคะทางช่องแชทนะคะถ้าท่านใดมีคำถามเพิ่มเติมนะคะสามารถแจ้งเข้ามาอีกครั้งหนึ่งได้นะคะเดี๋ยวขออนุญาตเริ่มเซสชันในเซสชันถัดไปเลยละกันนะคะถ้า ค่ะเดี๋ยวขออนุญาตนะคะให้ทางทีมงานนะคะภาษาไทยนะคะเว็บอัพสรุปสั้นๆสัก10 นาทีนะคะให้ทุกท่านได้เห็นภาพการใช้งานทั้งตัว PRTG และตัว Rubik เพิ่มมากขึ้นนะคะขออนุญาตเรียนเชิญคุณมนตรีทองคำชุม Technical Manager บริษัท Network 365ค่ะ
ครับสวัสดีครับผมมนตรีทองคำชุมนะครับผมก็อ่ะสำหรับท่านผู้ฟังนะครับผมก็ได้ฟังไป2 เซสชันแล้วนะครับในส่วนของตัว Network Monitoring นะครับตัว PIG แล้วก็ตัว Backup Protection นะครับตัว Ransom ตัว Rubik นะครับผมซึ่งในส่วนของทางของผมนะครับผมก็จะเป็นเรื่องของการแลกอัพนะครับว่าโซลูชันที่เรานำเสนอวันนี้นะครับผมจะมาช่วยเหลือนะครับสำหรับลูกค้ายังไงบ้างนะครับผมแล้วโซลูชันที่ควรจะเป็นจะมีอะไรบ้างนะครับผมขออนุญาตแชร์สไลด์หนึ่งเลยตามโอเคครับผมจากที่ ทางโปรดักต์ได้กล่าวไปเนาะในเรื่องของการปกป้องนะครับผมข้อมูลต่างๆนะครับผมทั้งระบบงานหรือข้อมูลต่างๆในองค์กรของเรานะครับผมในส่วนของลูกค้าเองสิ่งที่จำเป็นจะเห็นว่าการโจมตีมันก็จะมีการโจมตีในทุกๆเลเวลนะครับผมไม่ว่าจะเป็นเลเวลที่เป็นเรื่องของฟิสิกอลเองในเรื่องของเน็ตเวิร์กเองนะครับผมฝั่ง Endpoint ฝั่งแอปพลิเคชันนะครับผมสุดท้ายแล้วไปถึงเรื่องของ Data นะครับผมจะเห็นว่าในแต่ละเลเวลก็มีการควรจะมีการปกป้องนะครับผมมีระบบ Security ที่สามารถที่จะปกป้องได้ทุกๆเลเวลนะครับผมเพราะฉะนั้นในฝั่งของตัว Product ที่จำเป็นจริงก็จะมีหลากหลาย Product นะครับผมในปัจจุบันที่สามารถจะปกป้องข้อมูลต่างๆในแต่ละเลเวลได้นะครับผมทั้งนี้ถามว่าทำไมในส่วนของ PIG จึงมีความจำเป็นที่เข้ามาช่วยในการตรวจสอบนะครับผมและก็ให้เห็นว่าสามารถช่วยในการมอนิเตอร์ช่วยปกป้องข้อมูลหรือว่าอะไรหรือป้องกันการใช้งานต่างๆของระบบงานของเราได้อย่างไรบ้างนะครับผมสำหรับตัว Product PIG นะครับผมที่ทาง Product นำเสนอวันนี้นะครับก็จะเห็นว่าตัว Product PIG เองเป็น Product ที่ค่อนข้างง่ายนะครับผมแล้วก็สามารถมอนิเตอร์ได้ทุกอย่างนะครับผมตรวจสอบการทำงานต่างๆได้ค่อนข้างครอบคลุมนะครับผมถามว่า PRG ง่ายยังไงนะครับผมตัว PRG ตัว PRTG เองนะครับผมเป็น Product ที่ไม่ได้มีการอิน r ก g ไม่ต้องมีดัตเตอร์เบสแยกนะครับผมไม่ต้องมีอะไรติดตั้งโดย install ตัว Product PRG ตัวเดียวเข้าไปนะครับผมเรื่องของไลเซนส์ต่างๆก็ไม่ได้มีการคิดแยกนะครับผมทุกฟีเจอร์ทุกฟังก์ชันนะครับผมในส่วนของ PRG เราสามารถเข้าไปใช้งานได้เลยไม่ต้องไปซื้อไลเซนส์เพิ่มเติมนะครับผมในส่วนของฟีเจอร์นะครับผมเสร็จแล้วเมื่อนำไปมอนิเตอร์นะครับผมด้วยฟังก์ชันของ PIG ที่สามารถมอนิเตอร์ได้ค่อนข้างครอบคลุมนะครับผมไม่ว่าเรามีการใช้งานตัว Product Firewall เอา PIG ไปมอนิเตอร์ในส่วนของ Firewall สามารถดูเรื่องของ Flow ได้นะครับเห็นพวก Top Source Top Conversation ต่างๆนะครับผมหรือมอนิเตอร์เรื่องของ performance ของตัวอุปกรณ์เราได้จะเป็นเรื่องของ Firewall เรื่องของสวิตช์เรื่องของ Router เราสามารถดูเรื่องของ CPU เรื่องของ Memory เรื่องของ Bandwidth นะครับต่างๆเราสามารถดูพวก Active Section ต่างๆของ Firewall ก็ได้นะครับผมว่าปัจจุบันมี Active Section ใช้งานอยู่เท่าไหร่นะครับผมและก็เป็นกราฟย้อนหลังไปว่าเคยใช้งานอยู่เท่าไหร่นะครับผมในฝั่งอื่นๆอย่างพวก Cloud พวกแอปพลิเคชันต่างๆนะครับตัว PIG เราก็สามารถเข้าไปมอนิเตอร์ได้นะครับผมแล้วก็พวกแอปพลิเคชันฝั่งที่เป็นพวก Healthcare พวกอ่าอุปกรณ์เครื่องจักรต่างๆนะครับผมก็ใช้ PIG ในการมอนิเตอร์นะครับผมได้ค่อนข้างครอบคลุมอย่างที่บอกว่าเมื่อเรามอนิเตอร์ครอบคลุมแล้วสิ่งหนึ่งที่ PIG มีก็คือมันสามารถ analyze ได้นะครับผมอย่างเช่นว่าเราสามารถตัว PIG สามารถ analyze ได้ว่า รื่องเซิร์ฟเวอร์ที่เรามอนิเตอร์นะครับผมมีการใช้งานหรือมีการทำงานที่แตกต่างกันไหมอย่างเช่น CPU มีการใช้งานที่แตกต่างกันไหมโดยปกติ CPU อาจจะใช้แค่1%นะครับผมอยู่ๆวันนี้มี CPU กระโดดขึ้นมา80% PRG ก็จะ alert ขึ้นมาว่า CPU มีการใช้งานที่ผิดปกตินะครับผมในส่วนนี้ก็จะช่วยให้เราสามารถตรวจสอบอุปกรณ์ของเราได้ว่าอุปกรณ์เรามีการทำงานผิดปกติไหมมีปัญหาอะไรไหมหรือมีการใช้งานที่ผิดปกติไหมทำให้ performance เราสูงมากขึ้นนะครับผมในส่วนนี้ก็จะเห็นว่าเสร็จแล้วอ่ะสำหรับตัว Product PRG ที่อธิบายไปณวันนี้นะครับผมก็จะเห็นว่าตัว PRG มีโปรดักที่ให้ใช้งานที่เป็นโปรดักเมนหลักอยู่นะครับ3 ตัวด้วยกันนะครับนั่นก็คือตัว PRTG Network Monitor นะครับผมก็เป็นโปรดักหลักที่เราขายกันเราซื้อขายกันในปัจจุบันนะครับผมตัวนี้จะเป็นตัวซอฟต์แวร์เบสไลเซนส์นะครับผมเอาไปติดตั้งบน Windows Server ของทางลูกค้าเองนะครับผมตัวนี้ไลเซนส์ก็จะเป็น Perpetual นะครับผมซื้อไปติดตั้งใช้งานได้เลยนะครับผมส่วนต่อมาก็คือ PRG Hosted นะครับผมตัวนี้จะเป็น PRG ที่เป็น on cloud ของทาง PRG เองนะครับผมก็คือเราซื้อไลเซนส์บนคลาวด์นะครับผมใช้งานส่วนตัวต่อมาก็คือ PRG Enterprise นะครับผมตัวนี้เหมาะสำหรับลูกค้าที่ต้องการนำไปมอนิเตอร์จำนวนเซ็นเซอร์จำนวนอุปกรณ์ค่อนข้างเยอะหลัก20,000ขึ้นไปนะครับผมฟังก์ชันงานต่างๆของ PRG ทั้ง3 ตัวที่เป็นเมนหลักของเรา ก็สามารถมอนิเตอร์ได้ทุกอย่างเหมือนเดิมเหมือนกันนะครับผมทั้งนี้ตัว PIG เองนะครับผมได้มีการเปิดให้บริการในส่วนที่เป็น extension นะครับผมส่วนนี้ถ้าจะใช้ต้องซื้อไลเซนส์เพิ่มนะครับผมอย่างเช่นตัว OPC UA นะครับผมตัวนี้เป็น PIG สำหรับเอาไว้มอนิเตอร์อุปกรณ์เครื่องจักรนะครับผมอินทิเกรตร่วมกับอุปกรณ์เครื่องจักรโรงงานนะครับผมในการใช้งานส่วนต่อมาก็คือตัว PIG Multi Board ตามที่ทางคุณไอรอนได้เดโมให้ดูนะครับผมตัวนี้ช่วยยังไงถ้าเรามีการติดตั้ง PIG Core Server นะครับหลายๆเครื่องหลายๆไซต์ดังนั้นถ้าเราอยากจะได้แบบ Single Management นะครับผมในการ manage ในการจัดการนะครับในการแสดงหน้าแดชบอร์ดเดียวกันทุกๆ Core Server ก็จะมีตัว extension ที่ชื่อว่า Multi Board ตรงนี้นะครับผมไปใช้งานส่วนต่อมาก็คือ PRG SLA Report ตัวนี้ถ้าลูกค้าอยากได้เรื่องของ SLA Report นะครับผมทำ report ว่ามีเซนเซอร์ไหนหรืออุปกรณ์ตัวไหนที่ตก SLA บ้างอาจจะต่ำกว่า 90%ให้เจเนเรตเป็นรีพอร์ตออกมานะครับผมก็จะมีตัว SLA Report ตัวนี้นะครับสามารถเจนรีพอร์ตตามรูปแบบที่ต้องการได้นะครับผมส่วนต่อมาก็คือ PRG Data Explorer นะครับผมในส่วนนี้ในกรณีที่เราต้องการ Export Data นะครับผมที่เป็น Data Monitor นะครับผมจากตัว PRG ออกไปให้ระบบอื่นอย่างเช่นเรามีตัวที่เป็น Grafana เรามี BI หรืออะไรก็ตามแต่ที่เราอยากได้ Data ส่วนเนี้ยออกไปเพื่อทำการทำรีพอร์ตนะครับผมเราก็ใช้ตัว Data Export ตรงนี้นะครับผม Export ออกไปได้นะครับมันจะ Export ไปลง Database ให้นะครับผมหรือส่วนต่อมาที่เป็น Database Observer ตรงนี้อันนี้กรณีที่เราต้องการ Monitor Database เพียวๆนะครับผมไม่ว่าจะเป็น SQL MySQL Oracle ต่างๆนะครับผมอยากจะได้ตัวที่ไป Monitor ตัว Database เพียวๆก็สามารถใช้ extension นี้ได้นะครับผมอันนี้จะเป็น extension ที่ PRG มีให้บริการเพิ่มเติมนะครับสำหรับปี 2024 นี้นะครับผมอันนี้จะเป็นฟังก์ชันต่างๆของตัว PRG นะครับผมส่วนต่อมานะครับผมอย่างที่ทางโรบิกได้นำเสนอไปนะครับผมในเรื่องของการปกป้องข้อมูลเนาะในเรื่องของการใช้งานต่างๆนะครับผมสิ่งจำเป็นที่สุดนะครับผมหรือว่าเป็นด่านสุดท้ายนะครับผมในการปกป้องข้อมูลนั่นก็คือเรื่องของตัว Data Protection นะครับผมอ่ะผมมีตัวอย่างหนึ่งนะครับที่เคยเจออ่าคำถามคือเราลงอย่างตัว endpoint นะครับเราบอกว่าเราไม่ต้องมีแบ็กอัพแล้วเรามี endpoint แล้วเรามี network นะครับเรามี เรามี endpoint เรามี application security ต่างๆปกป้องข้อมูลแล้วก็ถามว่ายังจะเกิดเรื่องของการติด ransomware อะไรได้ไหมคำตอบว่าผมเคยเจอว่ามันทำได้เนาะอย่างเรามี endpoint อยู่นะครับผมตัว ransomware ปัจจุบันมันสามารถที่จะเข้าไปที่เครื่องแล้วก็สั่งคิวหรือสั่ง disable service ที่เป็นตัว endpoint ออกก่อนได้นะครับผมแล้วทำการ encryption เครื่องนั้นนะครับผมเพราะฉะนั้นแสดงว่าสิ่งจำเป็นสุดท้ายก็ควรจะต้องมีเรื่องของการทำแบ็กอัพนะครับผมและจุดเด่นของตัวรูบิกนะครับผมที่นำเสนอนี้มันเป็นยังไงนะครับผมในเรื่องของตัวรูบิกนะครับผมอย่างที่บอกว่าเราตัวโปรดักต์เองนะครับเป็นค่อนข้างคือเป็นผู้นำนะครับในตลาดปัจจุบันนะครับตลาดทางด้านแบ็กอัพนะครับผมตามการ์ดเนอร์ต่างๆนะครับผมแล้วก็ตัว Product เป็น Modern Data Protection นะครับผมก็คือมีทั้งที่เป็นตัว Appliance นะครับผมก็คือมี Storage ในตัวนะครับพร้อมซอฟต์แวร์อยู่ในตัวเองนะครับไม่ต้องไปติดตั้งไม่ต้องซื้อซอฟต์แวร์ไปติดตั้งที่ Appliance อื่นนะครับผมเพราะฉะนั้นตัวฮาร์ดแวร์ของตัว Ruby เองจะมีการปกป้องข้อมูลทุกอย่างนะครับผมทำเรื่องของ clustering นะครับผมก็คืออะไรตัว Ruby จะมีโดดเหมือน HCI นะครับผมแชร์โหนดกัน แล้วก็ทำคัตเตอร์นะครับผมเพราะข้อมูลจะมีการแบ็กอัพข้อมูลที่แบ็กอัพจะมีการแบ็กอัพนะครับระหว่างโหลดกันนะครับเพื่อปกป้องไม่ให้ข้อมูลมีการสูญหายข้อมูลที่มีการแบ็กอัพมีการสูญหายนะครับผมอ่าแล้วก็มีโซลูชันที่เป็นตัวคลาวด์นะครับตรงนี้สามารถทำอะไรสามารถอินเวสติเกตได้นะครับอย่างเช่นลูกค้ามีการแบ็กอัพนะครับผมข้อมูลระบบข้อมูล Data ออกเข้าไปนะครับผมตัวรูบิกสามารถตรวจสอบได้ว่าข้อมูลที่มีการแบ็กอัพลงไปในตัวรูบิกเป็นข้อมูลที่เป็นปกติไหมข้อมูลใช้งานเหมือนเดิมไหมนะครับผมหรือว่าเป็นข้อมูลที่มีการ encryption ติด ransomware นะครับผมถ้าเป็นข้อมูลที่เป็น encryption หรือติด ransomware พวกนี้รูบิกจะมีการ alert นะครับผมแจ้งว่าทำไม Data ที่แบ็กอัพณวันนี้ถึงแตกต่างจาก Data ที่แบ็กอัพเมื่อวานนะครับผม Data วันนี้มีไฟล์ที่มีการ encryption เกิดขึ้นนะครับผมจะแจ้งเตือนทางแอดมินให้รับทราบนะครับผมเราก็จะได้ไปดูว่าไอ้ Data ในเครื่องนี้มีการติดซัมแวร์หรือเปล่านะครับผมแล้วเวลารีสโตร์เราก็สามารถระบุช่วงเวลาที่รีสโตร์ได้นะครับว่าช่วงเวลาแบ็กอัพไหนนะครับผม SLA ไหนที่มันไม่ได้ติดแรนซัมแวร์ก็รีสโตร์ตัวนั้นขึ้นไปในการรีสโตร์เราสามารถรีสโตร์แบบฟาสต์ขึ้นมาได้นะครับผมให้ใช้งานช่วยคราวได้หรือเทสก่อนได้นะครับก่อนที่จะรีสโตร์กลับไปหาตัววัวช่วยจริงๆนะครับผมในส่วนนี้แล้วก็จะมีเรื่องตัวอื่นอย่างเรื่องของ sensitive data สามารถตรวจสอบไฟล์ที่แอปนะครับผมคอนเทนต์เนื้อหาต่างๆได้นะครับผมครับในส่วนของตัว Product นะครับสรุปอย่างที่บอกว่าตัว Product Rubrik เองนะครับผมเราเป็นตัว Product ที่ค่อนข้างง่ายนะครับผมในการใช้งานแล้วก็มีตัว SA Policy Engine ที่ค่อนข้างสะดวกนะครับผมแล้วก็มีรีพอร์ตความ compliance ต่างๆให้ได้นะครับผมเวลาแบ็กอัพนะครับผมเรื่องของตัว security นะครับผมเราจะเห็นว่าตัว Rubrik ใช้ฟังก์ชันตัว immutable นะครับผมคือจะเข้ารหัสทุกๆอย่างไฟล์ที่เป็นไฟล์แบ็กอัพของตัว Rubrik เองจะมีการเข้ารหัสเพราะฉะนั้น ransomware ไม่สามารถที่จะไปทำอะไรกับไฟล์แบ็กอัพพวกนั้นได้นะครับผมจะมีการเข้ารหัสทุกๆขั้นตอนไม่ว่าจะเป็นขั้นตอนของการแบ็กอัพลงโลคอลที่เป็น appliance box ไม่ว่าจะเป็นขั้นตอนของการซิงค์ขึ้นไปบนคลาวด์ถ้าต้องการที่จะย้ายไปอยู่บน Azure Amazon นะครับผมทุกอย่างทุกขั้นตอนก็จะมีการเข้ารหัส Data หรือ Connection ต่างๆทั้งหมดนะครับผมเพื่อคอยปกป้องนะครับผมไม่ให้ข้อมูลมีการถูกขโมยหรือว่าโดน attack ได้นะครับผมเรื่องของตัว Cyber Security นะครับผมเขาจะเห็นว่าเราเป็นโปรดักที่มีการตรวจสอบนะครับผมเรื่องของตัว ransomware หรือตัว sensitive data ต่างๆให้นะครับผมมีฟังก์ชันในการที่จะตรวจสอบว่าไฟล์แบ็กอัพมีการติด ransomware หรือมีปัญหาหรือเปล่านะครับผมมีคอนเทนต์ที่ใช้งานที่ ที่ไม่ถูกต้องหรือเปล่านะครับผมในส่วนนี้แล้วก็มีทีมงานนะครับผมที่คอยมอนิเตอร์แล้วก็มีการอัปเดตเรื่องของโซลูชันเรื่องของที่ข้อต่างๆให้นะครับผมในส่วนนี้อ่ะโอเคครับผมอันนี้ก็จะเป็นโซลูชันต่างๆครับผมที่นำเสนอในวันนี้นะครับผม
ค่ะขอขอบคุณทางคุณมนตรีมากๆเลยนะคะท่านใดมีคำถามเพิ่มเติมไหมคะสามารถแจ้งเข้ามาได้เลยนะคะก่อนที่หนูจะไปเซสชั่นถัดไปแล้วนะคะเดี๋ยวขออนุญาตรอ Q&A สักครู่หนึ่งนะคะถ้าไม่มีขออนุญาตข้ามไปเป็นเซสชั่นถัดไปนะคะค่ะและสุดท้ายนะคะในนามบริษัทของ Network 365นะคะทีมงานทุกท่านค่ะขอขอบคุณทุกท่านเลยนะคะที่ให้ความสนใจเข้าร่วมงานในวันนี้ค่ะหากมีข้อบกพร่องประการใดค่ะต้องขออภัยมาณที่นี้ด้วยนะคะแล้วพบกันใหม่โอกาสหน้าค่ะขอบคุณมากค่ะสวัสดีค่ะ